Ever been given directions and suddenly your brain freezes? You know which way you want to go, but the words left and right get stuck in a mental traffic jam. Or maybe you're the one in the passenger seat, confidently pointing right while saying, "Turn left." If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. This surprisingly common brain glitch affects millions of people, and it's not a sign of low intelligence. It's a fascinating quirk of how our brains process spatial information. So, why do we mix up left and right? Is there something wrong with our brains? Let us dive into the science behind this everyday confusion and uncover why your internal GPS sometimes needs a reboot. To understand why left and right get so jumbled, we need to take a quick trip inside the brain. Specifically, we're heading to the parietal lobe. This region, located near the top and back of your head, is the command center for a lot of complex tasks. It integrates sensory information from different parts of your body, helps you understand numbers and their relationships, and crucially, it's in charge of spatial processing. Think of it as the part of your brain that builds a mental map of the world around you. When you need to distinguish left from right, it's the parietal lobe that does the heavy lifting. Unlike telling up from down, which our brains find easy thanks to gravity, or front from back, which is based on our field of vision, left and right are symmetrical. There's no obvious external cue. Your brain has to perform a complex mental rotation to figure it out, and that process happens right here in the parietal lobe. When this area is busy, tired, or distracted, the wires can get crossed, leading to those moments of directional dyslexia. Now, let's add a common ingredient of modern life into the mix: stress. Have you ever noticed that you read more likely to confuse left and right when you read in a hurry, under pressure, or feeling anxious? That's not a coincidence. When you're stressed, your body goes into fight or flight mode, flooding your system with hormones like cortisol. This response is great if you need to run from a tiger, but it's terrible for complex cognitive tasks. The brain diverts its resources to survival-focused functions, pulling energy away from areas like the parietal lobe. Your higher-level thinking, including spatial reasoning, takes a backseat. Imagine you're trying to navigate a new city during rush hour. The honking cars, the pressure to make a turn, the fear of getting lost, it all creates a perfect storm of stress. Your brain is so overwhelmed with processing the immediate threats and pressures that it simply doesn't have the bandwidth to perform the mental gymnastics required to quickly and accurately identify left from right. So the next time you blurt out the wrong direction under pressure, don't be so hard on yourself. It's just your brain trying to manage cognitive overload. You might think, but I have a dominant hand. Shouldn't that make it easy? It's a logical assumption. If you're right-handed, you use that hand for almost everything: writing, eating, throwing a ball. It feels fundamentally different from your left hand. Yet, even with this lifelong built-in physical cue, the confusion persists. Why? Because identifying your dominant hand and translating that into a directional concept are two different mental processes. The first is a physical, almost subconscious awareness. The second is a symbolic, abstract task. When someone says, "turn left," your brain doesn't just think about your left hand. It has to process the verbal command, look at the environment, orient itself, and then execute the action. The dominant hand is just one piece of data in a much larger puzzle. For many people, the connection between "this is my writing hand" and "that direction is right" is unautomatic. It requires a conscious thought process, a tiny mental step. And in moments of distraction or speed, that's the step that often gets skipped, leading you to point in the complete opposite direction of where you intended. This struggle with left and right isn't something that just appears in adulthood. It starts much, much earlier. If you've ever spent time with young children, you've probably seen them hold up their hands, trying to make the L shape to figure out which one is left. This is a classic developmental stage. Learning left and right is a significant cognitive milestone for children, right up there with learning to read and write. It requires a level of abstract thought and body awareness that takes time to develop. The concepts are relative. An object on your left could be on someone else's right. This relativity is a tricky concept for a young brain that is still figuring out how the world works. Teachers often use songs, games, and physical cues to help cement the knowledge. But for some, the connection never becomes fully automatic. It remains a process that requires a moment of conscious thought, a slight mental calculation, even into adulthood. So, that hesitation you feel isn't a new problem. It's likely a cognitive pathway that's been a little less traveled since childhood. While a moment of hesitation in a conversation is harmless, this simple mix-up can have serious consequences in other situations. Think about being behind the wheel of a car. Your GPS says, in 200 feet, turn right. But your co-pilot, in a moment of panic, yells, turn left, turn left. That split-second confusion can lead to a dangerous maneuver, an accident, or at the very least, a very stressful driving experience. Or consider a surgeon in an operating room. Precision is everything. Confusing the left and right kidney is not an option, which is why extensive protocols and checklists exist to prevent such errors. Even in less life-threatening scenarios, like a dance class or a team sport, directional confusion can lead to frustration and poor performance. A wrong turn on the dance floor might just be embarrassing, but a wrong turn by a firefighter in a burning building or a pilot following air traffic control instructions could be catastrophic. This highlights that what seems like a simple mental glitch is, in certain contexts, a critical cognitive function that our safety and efficiency depend on. So, what's really happening in our heads during these moments? It often comes down to cognitive biases and mental shortcuts, or what psychologists call heuristics. Our brains are incredibly efficient, but to be so, they love to take shortcuts. When faced with a problem, the brain prefers to use a rule of thumb that has worked in the past rather than performing a full complex analysis every single time. Usually, this works great, but when it comes to distinguishing left and right, these shortcuts can backfire. For example, if you're navigating and mostly turning right, your brain might create a bias, expecting the next turn to also be right. When the instruction is turn left, it can cause a mental hiccup as your brain has to override its own expectation. This is why when we're distracted or tired, our brain defaults to the easiest, fastest, and sometimes wrong answer. It's not laziness. It's a feature of our cognitive architecture designed for efficiency. The system is just not perfectly suited for the symmetrical and abstract nature of left-right discrimination, making it an area ripe for these kinds of mental errors. The good news is, you're not doomed to a lifetime of directional confusion. Just like any other mental skill, you can train your brain and improve your left-right awareness. The key is consistent practice and the use of clever cues. One popular technique is to associate left and right with a physical, non-symmetrical marker on your body. Maybe you wear a watch or a specific ring on one hand. In a moment of doubt, a quick glance at your watch hand can instantly confirm, this is my left. Repetition is also crucial. You can actively practice by narrating your own actions throughout the day. I'm picking up my coffee mug with my right hand, or I'm turning left at this corner. This might feel silly, but it builds and strengthens the neural pathways responsible for the skill, making the connection more automatic over time. There are even apps and games designed specifically to train left-right discrimination. By consciously practicing and giving your brain consistent cues, you can reduce the cognitive load and make identifying left and right as effortless as knowing up from down. And if you still struggle, remember you are in very good company. This isn't just a quirk for the directionally challenged among us. It affects people in professions where you least expect it. Studies have shown that even highly trained professionals like doctors, pilots, and military personnel can experience left-right confusion, especially under high-stress conditions. Think about an airline pilot managing dozens of complex controls while communicating with air traffic control during a storm. Or an athlete on the field trying to execute a play called by their coach in a split second. Even with thousands of hours of training, the fundamental brain process is the same, and it's vulnerable to the same pressures. This is why these fields rely so heavily on protocols, checklists, and technology like GPS in cars or clearly labeled equipment in hospitals to act as a failsafe. It's a powerful reminder that this is a common human trait, a glitch in our shared cognitive software, not a personal failing. So the next time you mix up your left and your right, don't beat yourself up. It's not a measure of your intelligence, but a fascinating quirk of how your brain's parietal lobe handles symmetrical, abstract concepts, especially when you're stressed or distracted. From its roots in childhood development to its impact on high-stakes professions, left-right confusion is a universal human experience. By understanding the science behind it, we can learn to be more patient with ourselves and others. And by using simple tricks like physical cues and consistent practice, you can actually train your brain to become more confident and automatic in its directional choices. It's all about strengthening those neural pathways and giving your internal GPS a little boost. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed unraveling this brain glitch, give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more mind tricks and brain mysteries coming your way. See you in the next one.